Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the qualifying round win for the Palm Tree Open tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get ultimate tournament guides for Expert Division and for Pro and Master Division by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Sign up and get absolute most detailed and best guides on the market. If you do have any questions, please let us know in the comment section below as well, and we will be happy to help you out. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that these are all suggestions and you don't have to follow anything if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. Let's go to hole number one. Hole number one, we're going to play with a Titan ball if you do have Apocalypse 5 Plus. I'm gonna explain what to do if you have Apocalypse level 4. Bullseye just by the edge of the rough and fairway line. Adjust max plus 10. Push up to max. Once you are pushed up to max, we're going to adjust for a power slice. And we're gonna adjust 17 rings if you play with Apocalypse level 5 or 6. If you do play with Apocalypse level 7, I would adjust 20 rings. And if you play with Apocalypse level 8, I would adjust 22 rings. You can see here, once we're done here, we're gonna apply spin. 2.5 bar top spin, 2 bars of left spin. 2 balls of curl to the right is what we're looking for. And then we go for a full overpower, full slice. Let's go. Bounces nicely on the fairway, we have room there, and it rolls just above the rough, and obviously we need to be a little bit lucky there, but the rollout there is often pretty nice and we get very close to the green. If you do play with Apocalypse level 4, right, play with a power 4 ball, and when you push up, when you have adjusted your rings and such, you should push up, instead of to plus 16, you push up to plus 22. And adjustment when it comes to the rings that you're going to use 15 rings as a power slice number rings. So, power 4 ball, you push up to plus 22 instead of the plus 16, which is very close to max for power 4, because you have 6 yards less power. And then again, 15 rings as a power slice. Then we go up to a wedge. And being this close here now, obviously you can play this one in many different ways. Play it whatever suits you. I use max top spin, and I'll play this one 30% slider, 20% elevation, which is 3.2 rings. 3.2 rings is adjusted. Let's roll this ball to the hole, right a pin for a beautiful little eagle. You may be wondering, why don't I just lay up and take it that way? It's because I do feel that playing with a power slice here brings such a reward for us by getting up to the wedge range like that. And that this power slice has been successful several times in practice here. That's why I feel comfortable with going with that as the only option. Hole number 2, use the driver with the most power possible here. I would recommend us to go with an Apocalypse of 4 or better. 3 bars of left spin, 6 bars of top spin. Aim deliberately to the left side of the fairway. Make sure here now that you don't have any type of 12-01. Unfortunately, I do have a little 12-01 on this one here. So make sure that you do have 12, or you should favor 11.59. Adjust max plus 10. Then we go max overpower with slow needle. Obviously, this is going to be much easier for us then to hit perfect, and it's going to bounce on the rough and roll down the fairway. Again, this is the reason why we do need to stay away from 12-01, because look how close I'm getting to the rough line there to the right. 408 is totally fine. Now we're going to do a specific rough check, which we're going to have the bottom of the blue ring by the rough line with the ball guideline going through the hole. So this is plus 2, right? So now we're gonna apply spin. 2 bars of side spin to the right, and I'm using 4 bars of top spin. Very important when we do have tailwind to leave this ball guideline short of pin, otherwise we will come in hot. Half of the red ring outside the rough. And once we have found that with the ball guideline to the hole, we should in this case adjust 58% slider, no elevation. I'm not adjusting 58%, I'm just saying what we should have done. Very important as well when you pull the rings here that you do pull with an 1159. Very important. If you don't do that, you will risk not clipping the rough. And especially if you do a mistake by pulling with a 1201, then you will 100% miss the rough. So very important that you are focused on your pull angle. Perfect ball. And then we are going to clip the rough. And it's gonna roll towards the pin. Again, we are that close to the rough because we're not adjust the full amount that we do need to use. So we adjust, you know, approximately 0.3 less than what we should be doing. So my recommendation is once again to play 58% slider, no elevation, power 3 ball settings with a base of the bottom of the blue ring by the rough line at +2. For hole number 3, we're looking to have a wind between 6.5 and 8 miles per hour. Either use a kingmaker, if the wind is too high, we change the wind for power 3 ball. Look for the spot where the ball guideline is getting clipped away by the bunker, to be just off that. Ball guideline to go in the center of the bright green square row without spin. Then we're gonna add spin, 0.8 bars of backspin, and we're gonna go with 1.5 bar of side spin to the left. Adjustment gonna be simple, 1 to 1, so 7.1 rings for 7.1 miles per hour. We are going to use a small 1159 with our adjustment here as we are adjusting up on a higher spot. So very important that you do have the correct pull angle. If you have a 1201 here, you will most likely see yourself missing the rough, so be focused on that. So a small 1159 as a pull angle. Bounce into the rough. Roll up the green, fall down into the hole. This has been a money shot so far with plenty of drops. So hit perfect and have some fun on hole 3. Hole number 4, super simple hole where there is a slight chance for an hole-in-one, but we're looking to just play this one extremely safe and take our eagle. 5 bars of backspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right, and with Apocalypse 5 and 6, we leave the red ring by the rough line to the right. Or let's say like this, with Apocalypse 6, we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna explain what to do if you only have Apocalypse 5. Apocalypse 7 or 8, we're gonna use in that case half of the blue ring inside the rough to the right. Adjust maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment. You can see that I'm going with 75% of the ball to the right in curl, or like 0.75, whatever you want to call it. Bounce nicely on the fairway up towards the green, and we get ourselves a very simple putt to make an eagle. As you notice, well, we can reduce the curl and attack the pin a little bit more if we want to, but have in mind that we play this one to secure the eagle. If you don't use enough curl, you might risk going over the green and into the bunker. What do you do if you only have Apocalypse level 5 or below then? Then you have to play with a Thor's Hammer. And let's say that you're playing with a Thor's Hammer level 5, 6, 7 or 8. So, Thor's Hammer level 5, 6 and 7 has 8 yards less than Apocalypse 6 plus. Then you will have to push up 8 yards after you have made your adjustments. So you pull max plus 15, push up 8 yards, okay? If you do play with a Thor's Hammer level 8, then you have 5 yards less power on that club. Then you push up 5 yards. That's a simple way to for those of you that are not playing with Apocalypse level 5, sorry, Apocalypse level 6 or better, to still get yourself safely on green and don't have to be lucky with not having enough backspin. For hole number 5, we do want to play with a power 1, a power 0, power 1, power 2, wind 5 ball. Doesn't matter what power, if it is between 0 or 2. Cannot play with power 3 or power 4, then we will be going in between clubs. So blue ring by the sand trap line, tip of the ball guideline before we add spin to be in the center of the bright green square row. Maximum distance with a 40% over adjustment, power 3 ball setting. So even if we are using, in this case, wind 5 ball that is power 0, 1 or 2, we're still gonna use power 3 ball numbers. So max plus 40, power 3 ball settings. Perfect ball. There we go. Okay, the ball is then going to bounce on the fairway up towards the pin. Unfortunately, we're going to miss here to the left, which means that we are slightly over adjusted, or we just need to somewhat correct with our pull angle. So what I would recommend is to go with a small 1201 to this shot to push the ball a little bit more to the right and compensate that way, because I like where the first bounce is and I don't want to reduce the adjustment and then risk going into the bunker. For hole number 6, we're gonna play a tough hole of Santa Ventura, and here we mainly go for an eagle. +9, red ring by rough line, ball guideline pointed towards the center of the bunker. Then we apply spin, 3.2 bars of top spin and 2 bars of left spin. Adjustment shall be maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment here. When it comes to the starting position, when it comes to the rock level 9, we start at +9 as already explained. If you play with the rock level 8, you start at +10. If you play with the rock level 7, you shall in that case start at +13. One ball of curl is what I'm use, but look how close we are to the rough here. So we need to add more curl. So at least 1.5 ball curl to the left is what we're gonna have to go with. And sure, you don't have to play with a berserker ball here if you don't want to, but I feel there's value to play with a power 5 ball to make sure that we always have the power for the second shot, especially if we do mess up the drive. So here you can also play with a Baba ball, you can play with a Luminary and Rose ball, any other type of power 5 side spin 2 ball that has at least wind resistance 1. Second shot, now we are a lot to the right here, and then I decide to actually go through the trees, in between the trees instead of to the left of the trees. And I honestly like this position better than if we would be going left of trees, especially with the wind coming right to left. But be careful here, because what I decide here to do is to start just right off when the ball guideline gets clipped away by the tree to the left. And the reason I do that is because I want to give myself room to fly from right to left, to not clip any of the trees on the right side. You can see here now we go through the trees nicely and we bounce nicely, and this one could have been close if we would be having a little bit less backspin. 5 bars backspin, 2 bars of left spin was what I used there, and I played medium distance minus 15% elevation. To be honest, my friends, make sure to just lock this one in for a safe eagle. There's no point pushing too hard when it is the qualifying round only. For hole number 7, we start with whatever power 4 ball you may have, just to find complete minimum distance with the second bounce into the center of the dark green square row where the pin is. Once that is done, we add spin. 6 bars of backspin, 0.2 bars of side spin to the right, and then we're gonna change ball. Right, I want to play with wind between 7 and 8 miles per hour if possible, so I'm gonna change between a wind 4 power 3 and a wind 3 power 3. So it's either going to be a Kingmaker or it's going to be some ball like the Centurion, Kingslayer, Mummy Ball, Superstar Ball. There is so many balls that do a wind 4 power 3. Adjustment is simple, 1 to 1, so 7.7 rings for 7.7 miles per hour. Perfect ball. Bounces nicely on the green. Get in. So what the ball will do is that it's most likely gonna have the third bounce in the hole. This has been a money shot so far. Very good chance for an hole-in-one, hole 7. Hole number 8, we do have Send It Wind. Start by stretching out to absolute max half of the blue ring inside the rough to the left with Apocalypse 5 and 6. If you play with Apocalypse level 7 or level 8, you should go, in that case, with the blue ring by the rough line to the left instead. And then we adjust max plus 10. Push up to max. We're using 6 bars of top spin and 2 bars of left spin. 1.5 ball curl to the left. And we apply 3.5 rings of overpower if the wind is between 10 and 11 miles per hour. 3 rings of overpower if the wind is above 11 miles per hour. and 4 rings of overpower if the wind is below 10 miles per hour. Hit perfect, because a bad great right or left will end up into the rough. But with a perfect ball, we're gonna find ourselves very close to the green for a very good chance. Now, second shot, as what doesn't show on the replay here is that I actually get +3 from making a pin check. And that +3 is what we are going to run with. So, you can see here now that when I do try to go with a lot of topspin and such, we do get a lot of glitchy spots there. So I do decide in the end to go with outspin completely for this shot, and that is what I recommend you to do. Sure, there is a little glitch spot there as well, but we're going with no spin. Even though we come in too hot, we will in that case be hitting the pin and bounce in. Right, so from a +3 perspective, being at pin, then we shall be playing this one 68% slider, 20% elevation. Unfortunately, that is not what I'm doing here in the video. I do under adjust this one slightly. So again, recommendation from +3 pin check, 68% slider, 20% elevation, power 5-ball settings. So you can see here we just missed that one as well, but this one, if you do get to that spot, that needs to be an eagle. Hole number 9, a no movement drive, very simple. 3 bars of side spin to the right, 2 bars of top spin. Adjustment is gonna be maximum distance +10. There we go. Full overpower, max curl to the right. If you do play with Apocalypse level 4, I would recommend to play with 3 bars of topspin instead of 2. But Apocalypse 5 or better, 2 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right always. You're gonna be somewhere between 345 and 352. You know, no matter what you do, honestly. And now we're going to do a pin check with our sniper. So, here. You see here that we were at +4. Using 1.5 bar of topspin, ball guideline should be through the hole just barely, with the top of the inner ring by the edge of the rough line. Now, I do play with no elevation, as you can see in the info box there, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna change it to -5% is what we're going to use here. So in this video, I do over adjust here barely. I judged that to be an over adjustment of 0.3 rings. And therefore I changed to -5% elevation to keep the slider percentage, which is 38% slider. Very important that when you pull the rings here now, for this shot, is that you do pull with a favor of 1159. If you favor 1201, you risk going into the bunker. That's why it's very important to favor 1159. You may be wondering why to complicate this much to go on right instead of just going left. The reason is because if we're gonna go left, we're still going to have to go with a lot of overpower, and if we go into the rough, we are dead. We are not gonna reach to the green in 2. And even if we get it over there, we cannot use any pin check, we cannot use any type of reference in a good way. So therefore, we go right, we play a rough bump with a sniper, with this a very accurate and good club, which means that we can hit a great left, great right on the second shot and still be on green. But the rough bump as well with a pin check, it's going to give us a very good chance making an albatross on a generally tough par 5. -5% elevation, 38% slider, as already explained, based on +4 pin check. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division with the tournament win for the Palm 3 Open Tournament here in Golf Clash. The game video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure that you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. Thank you so much once again, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.